Old fashions are one of my favorite cocktails, but sometimes you need a little spice in your life. The Dusty Chaps takes care of that need. So drink number 2 for my drink competition is Dusty Chaps, which you actually came up with that name.
Yes.
I think it's awesome and hilarious at the same time.
Do you want to know how I got there?
How did you get there?
Do you remember how I got there?
I don't remember.
We were obviously trying to go on a trip to Flavor Town.
Right.
Well, for this one, it's a bourbon cocktail.
Yep.
And it's so dry, it kind of tastes like the desert. So I was thinking cowboys, Dusty Chaps, cowboys wear chaps.
Right.
In the desert.
Yeah, that was great. This might be the one that we spent the longest time trying to see, can we get it balanced correctly?
Yes.
And the biggest thing was, we knew the bourbon, Eagle Rare, was one of the liquors that we had to use. And I wanted to use the Ancho because we both really liked it, and it adds not just spice, but a flavorful. Not just heat spice, but a flavor.
It's a depth of flavor that is unlike anything else.
Right, in the liquor world.
Right.
And so I knew I wanted to use that, and then honey I thought was just a good combination to try to add the sweetness to it. I realized too that this doesn't need citrus because I wanted to play off an old fashioned, which old fashioned doesn't have citrus, so I want to keep it basic. But then it's like, okay, how can I add more complexity to the honey syrup? So I was like, gotta use peppers.
Right.
And we're naturally, right? You know, because we're one in spice. So this was the one where we tried many different variations of the honey syrup. You know, I first started with coriander, black pepper. What else did I use? I think maybe cayenne. Maybe not. I don't remember. But then we realized how dry it tasted, and I thought that was we both thought that was a great bonus to the flavor. And I didn't realize that coriander was going to do that to it, but then you kind of mentioned that's what it does.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep going that. So again, we tried, I think, 5 to 8 different pepper recipes with the honey until we figured out. And to be honest, we both still not agree when this cocktail, like when I finalized it, we both were still not agreeing with the honey ratio and spice level.
Well, I mean, I preferred a previous version where there was a higher level of coriander and there was a little splash of lemon juice in there.
Yeah.
I thought that one was drier, and I was more of a fan of that. But that comes down to personal preference and taste. And I'm not a bourbon drinker, and that one the previous version kind of masked the bourbon a little bit.
The one with the lemon juice and more coriander, right? And I wanted it to be still true-ish to an old fashioned.
Right.
And I finally was just like, nope, this is it, we're done. Like, because I was also just tired, not from just, we were moving, had the drink competition. I was just like, this is it. Like, we can play around with this one forever. And we'll both never be happy.
Right. And we could basically piddly nitpick away at it forever.
Yep, exactly. So let's give this another try, should we?
Should we?
Shall we?
First, I'm going to take this little guy out.
Yeah.
Because the only anise that you get is in the garnish, and I'm not a fan. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that spice is just, first you get the touch of liquid from hops because you're drinking something, but then that spice from the honey just comes right through. But then, like, I can smell the ginger from the candy ginger, the blood orange, and the anise. And that was the whole point of those 3 garnishes, is more for smell than anything else. Obviously, the candy ginger you can enjoy throughout, but the anise and the blood orange is 100% there for the smell. They kind of give you that citrus to kind of also kind of pump up that spice from the anise.
Yep.
But then
it is a very spicy cocktail. Like, you can feel it on your tongue and in your throat, but it's not so spicy that it's unpleasant.
It's not heat spicy.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of heat,
but it's not obnoxious.
Right, it's not unpleasant. It is. I think it would be palatable for most people.
I would think so too. But then, like you said, that dryness is now just hitting your throat after you're done with it. And it's something that I can't remember that I've had in a cocktail. I'm not saying I've never had one, I just can't remember.
Can't think of it,
off the top of my head. And I just think it gives it that secondary flavor that you're just not used to, but it just works so well with this.
And I think that was characteristic of the Eagle Rare bourbon. I think that's kind of why we went that direction.
If you're a fan of old fashions, if you're a fan of the bee's knees cocktail that's out there, you know, bourbon and honey, you like a little spice, I think this is great for you. I would suggest you just make the spices to your level of what you like for that honey syrup. Obviously, I'll leave the description below how I made it. You just kind of change it up to your palate. But I think this is a good starting port.
Yes.
Good starting point.
There you go.
Yeah. So if you want to check out the first drink of 4 from my drink competition, it's right over here. It's called the Bitter Ombre. And yeah, leave us a comment. Let us know if you think you would like to enjoy this or what you might want to change up in it, you know?
Right.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.